down there in the comments, you want to type in hello to our audience. This is their Jello. That'll be the last thing you have to type in. There we go. All right. They'll start popping in. All right, guys. All right, there you go. Journeyman Bell's already there. All right, we're getting ready to lock out. It's gonna fade out.
Just fight a little longer, my friend.
Cut that out. There we go. All right, guys, we want to say thank you guys for joining in. First of all, I want to say hello to everyone, and thank you guys for joining us here on Fishbowl Radio Network. It's a family affair, y'all. It is beautiful here in the city of Arlington, Texas out here. I think I overdressed coming into the show today because I'm a little hot, y'all. But, y'all, we are here in the city, and as always, we get a chance to look out the window of this beautiful city and get to see everything going on around here. We wish y'all were here, but since you're not, we thank y'all for joining in with us here on the radio show. Y'all do us a favor before we get started and share with others out there. Let them know that we are getting ready to get started. We got some wonderful guests in the house today, and I can't wait to get them introduced to you guys. Y'all help me to share everybody out there. I think you guys have been waiting on our young adults to come on. They are finally in the house. I think you guys have been meeting a few of them, but we got a few more that's joining in, and then we're going to come all together in the month of February to bring the entire family together. So, Mr. Joe, we want to say hey to you. Mr. Alvino Bell, hello. DeMarcus, hello. Mrs. Faith Davis, I know all of our guests are coming. Mrs. Jennifer, hello to you. Y'all, we just want to say just good evening to everybody. I think I'm a little bit nervous as well. It happens like that sometimes. Well, y'all, before we get started, I want you all to know that you can go out there and visit us at www.fbrn.us out there on Fishbowl Radio Network in the Blue Stream, or you guys can join us actually on our Facebook page. I'm actually coming in on my page today because it's just taking a little bit to get to that other one, and everybody doesn't know how to join in there just yet. But if you are on our Facebook Live, can you do us a favor and share with others? Let them know that we are getting ready to get started. Let them know we got some good guests in the house. But anyway, I'm going to stop for a minute, and I want to introduce our guests on today, because I'm going to step out of the room and I'm going to let them take over before I mess up their show on today. First of all, I want to introduce Mrs. Michelle McKissic. Michelle, if you want to introduce yourself to everybody, that would be great.
Hi, I am Michelle McKissic. Cody and I, haven't talked about him yet, but we're going to get more into like a little bit of who we are. But I am Michelle. I'm a local Arlington girl, grew up in the city, and that's me.
That's about it.
Yeah. Sorry, not interesting.
That's okay. She's interesting, y'all. Sometimes it just takes a little minute. And Mr. Cody, if you want to introduce yourself, we will let you do that as well.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Good evening. My name's Cody Williams. I'm a good East Texas country boy.
Are you from East Texas?
I'm from East Texas.
Where in East Texas?
Longview.
Shut the
Lobos.
door.
We just won a state championship.
Good deal.
Yeah. So Longview, Texas. Migrated here to Dallas a couple of years ago. Loved it.
Good
just
deal.
Very thankful, blessed to be here in the city.
Amen. I'm actually from Tyler, Texas. Majority of us from the show are from Tyler, Texas.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, all of us actually are from Tyler. So we are.
Small world.
It's a home. Yes, it's a very small world.
East Texas representing.
East Texas representing in the house. Well, y'all tell us a little bit about what your show is going to be about today.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about a couple of topics, some pop culture stuff. We're going to go into the first. We're going to introduce ourselves a little bit more, but then get into the cancel culture. And by that, I mean when people are saying, oh, this person's canceled, they're canceled, things of that nature. Dive into college. Is it worth it or not financially? The cost-benefit analysis of that. And then last, we're going to leave you with our takes on things that we should drop in the new year. I know we're heading into February now, but that gives us 11 solid months to get our lives. So yeah.
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 Mr. Cody?
Yeah, so just echoing what Michelle said, really looking forward. I think we got some good content, some good material for you. We'll share our thoughts on it. Looking forward to engaging everybody on those topics. I'm really looking forward to the cancel culture and specifically, and got a few interesting things on the intro questions. So.
Amen. Well, y'all, at that note, I'm going to step out of the room and I'm going to let these two take over so that they can relax themselves. I'm going to be outside in the other room kind of engaging a little bit. But y'all be sure to, if you have any comments, any questions, anything that you may want to, ask them or whatever, y'all feel free to either drop that on the line or you can actually dial in to our Facebook radio number. Let me get that pulled up for you. Just one second, guys. You can dial into 214. Michelle, if you'll type that into the box there, 214-431-5062. Again, that's 214-431-5062, and that's going to be the dial in if you guys have any questions about anything. Well, guys, y'all take it away and enjoy on today.
Thanks, Marilyn.
All right, thank you. Actually, before you go, I lost my transition.
You lost your transition. Let's see. Let's pull it up here.
Sorry, guys, this is my first time. Bear with me.
There you go.
Okay, there we are. All right.
Cody, that's you.
All right, so into some more introductions of who we are. So I'm Michelle McKissic. Like I said, I grew up in Arlington. You may know my father. He pastors here in Arlington at Cornerstone Baptist Church. If you haven't been to church, go to church. Tomorrow we have service at 10 a.m. Shout out to Cornerstone. So that's a little who I am. Cody, he kind of told you a little who he is. You want to give him a little bit more before we get to this?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I like I mentioned earlier with Maryland, I'm from East Texas, Longview to be exact. Migrated here to Dallas a couple of years ago. A little bit about my background. I played college ball for Texas A&M from 06 through 2010, so that was a good little run there. Finished up with a couple of degrees, both of them in human resources, and I work in that field now here in Dallas. Love the Lord. Looking forward to
I love
just
Jesus too, y'all.
Yeah. My father doesn't pastor a church, but he pastors all churches. My father is Jesus Christ. So, but so we're looking forward to getting into it.
All right. So that's just kind of generically who we are, but we thought we would throw some questions to one another.
Yep.
So that y'all can kind of get to know us beyond our bios, if you will.
Yeah.
I didn't tell. I went to Texas Christian University, so I went to school too.
You went to TCU?
I went to TCU.
You a horn frog?
I'm a horn frog. Please don't frown your face up.
Oh.
Please don't frown your face up.
You one of those?
I am. I'm proudly one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good school. It's a good school.
Yeah. That's why I went. So I am a graduate of the Texas Christian University. But so I'm gonna ask. We're gonna do some rapid fire questions. So that's kind of our way to. We're going to we haven't gone over these questions with one another. We're just going to pose them and the other person. We don't have really a set time limit, but the idea is to answer pretty quickly. And,
Just kind of break the ice with it.
Break the ice, icebreaker.
Get right into it.
Yeah. All right. So I'll ask the first question. So I'll put the camera on you. All right. So, Cody, what is the most important object you own?
Wow. Important object I own. Goodness. Probably a house.
That is if a house is an object.
Yeah, I would say it is.
Then
you probably need some cover to lay your head, and you want a roof over your head. So
All
I'll
right,
probably
I'll
say.
give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You want me to keep going, or are you gonna throw one?
No, I'm gonna throw one right back at you. So who do you admire and why?
Who do I admire and
the
why?
most?
The
Who do you admire
most. I'm gonna skip over the Jesus answer, but we
Okay,
can just
yes.
assume that I admire Christ. Gosh.
Yeah, we are on Christian radio, so.
Who do I admire the most and why?
Uh-huh.
Gosh, I want to say like 5 people.
Right, you can only choose one.
I can only choose the one.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can't choose either of my parents because then the other one might feel some kind of way?
Parents is that's a good.
So I can just clump them together?
You can clump them together.
Okay, I'm going to go with my parents.
You're going to go with your parents. Why?
Why? Because they created me.
Okay.
And that is
right.
quite the feat. But also their resiliency. They've just built so much. I've seen them go from literally having nothing to not necessarily having everything, but everything that they need.
Wow.
And more. And they've done it with integrity.
Yeah.
And they did it together. Like, they've been together since they were 19 and 20 years old. They've been married since they were 19 and 20 years old. And now, I'm not going to tell you their ages, but they're far cry from 19 and 20.
Okay.
And
So how long have they been married?
Ooh, like 42.
Wow.
42, 3 years.
Okay. All right.
So,
So,
like,
that would
yeah,
that would
that-
make them.
Please don't. please don't.
I'm not gonna do that.
Don't do my parents.
I'm not gonna do that.
But yeah, so they've done a lot. They've lived a lot,
Okay.
and they've done it well.
That's awesome.
So
That's good stuff.
yeah. All right. So Cody, what simple change could you make in your life that would have the biggest positive impact?
Wow. What simple change could I make that would have the biggest positive impact? Man. So that one's tough because I've got a couple of different ways that my mind is going on that one. So I'm in the, kind of fitness and health and everything. So my
Okay.
mind is kind of going on that. But there's also one, just spiritually, I think that if I was to just start my day out with just straight in the word, instead of starting my day out thinking about where I'm going in terms of the gym, or what workout I'm gonna do, or thinking about work, or hopping on Facebook, I think if I just spent a few solid minutes in the Word, I think that would have a huge impact. Not to sound all churchy and everything,
churchy.
but honestly, I think that would really get my day started off in the right way, and just kind of get my mind stay on
Jesus.
God. Man, stay on the Lord.
Yeah, good. That's a good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
All right,
All
my
right.
turn.
Now, what is a fantasy of yours?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Cody
yeah.
fooling.
We're gonna get into it.
A fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay. A fantasy.
Right.
A realistic fantasy.
Listen, fantasies can be unrealistic. You can have unicorns in your fantasy. You can have spaceships, whatever you want.
What is a fantasy of mine?
Yeah.
The word fantasy opposed to like a goal makes me think something unrealistic.
It can be whatever you want it to be. Whatever you make it, a fantasy. It's your world.
Okay.
You got 30 seconds or less.
Okay, a fantasy. I have this is gonna be. No, I'm not gonna do myself like that. I'm not gonna do myself like that.
Do yourself dirty. It's all good.
no.
We all do ourselves.
No, I choose not to.
Okay.
So I'm just. Gosh, I hate that question.
Man. So that must be it's a good question. Let me write this one down.
No, I absolutely hate it. A fantasy of mine. To have all my heart's desires come true.
Okay. Can you list one of
No.
those desires? Okay.
No.
Moving on.
And that is that. I said what I said. Your turn.
She said what she said. My
Oh,
turn.
I guess I ask you a question now. All right. What issue do most people think is black and white, but you think there is a lot of nuance to it?
Yeah. I would say some of our lighter counterparts, our Caucasian brothers and sisters, feel that the socioeconomic wage gap, or the socioeconomic gap that exists in this nation, is just a matter of kind of pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, and hey, go out there, work hard. This is how I was able to accomplish it, this and that. When really, I think, Michelle, both me and you've gone to school with folks that, they've inherited land and different things like that. They're starting from a different place. Some of us are starting from a different place. So I think closing the socioeconomic gap is one thing that's more nuanced, more so than it is black and white.
You think the fix to closing the gap?
The fix to closing the gap
Okay.
is more nuanced than it is, hey, black and white. Like it's more than just
Do for yourself and
Yeah.
strive and
Yeah,
be
I
sorry and suffer.
it's more than just giving people money or giving people
Yeah.
reparations or that. I mean, without education, the Bible says, without in the book of Proverbs, without a plan, without knowledge, people perish, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's a whole knowledge component that comes to finances and learning how to manage that and closing the gap. It's not just so it's tackling that from an educational perspective.
Man, we could do a whole show
Resource,
on
man.
this because
we,
I have some opinions.
yeah, and
that are
absolutely.
not I don't think that our Caucasian brothers and sisters are all wrong.
I don't think they are either.
So I think that'd be an interesting topic of discussion. Who's to blame for your situation?
I mean, ultimately, so there's
Spoiler
something.
alert, it's you, but
Right. I mean, ultimately, I wouldn't say who's to blame. It's not about whose fault it is. It's about who's responsible, right? So, like,
same diff.
who's responsible for
Everyone's
my
just-
well-being?
you are.
I am.
Yeah.
So, regardless of where I was born,
Right.
regardless of how I was raised, life dealt me some bad hands, my health, I'm responsible for my outcome and how I want it to be. So, we can point the finger at whoever we want to, but ultimately it boils down to ourselves. And I'm looking forward to talking about
Yeah,
that.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right. I guess you're asking me something now?
Yep. So, what are 2 things that you want to accomplish in 2019?
Ooh. 2 things I want to accomplish.
Yeah.
2 things that are totally in my control to accomplish.
2 things that you want to accomplish that are, let's just say that they can be attained in 2019.
2 attainable things. I want to. One is. I'll do personal and professional.
Okay.
Professionally, and by professional I mean like my side hustle.
Okay.
So professionally,
Getting your hustle on out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to complete another screenplay, or not just complete it, but I like to complete and sell.
So you've already completed a screenplay?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, I would like to do.
Multi-talented. All right.
Yeah, I try.
Radio, screenplay,
Yeah.
man. Hey, remember us little people before
Jack
you
of
blow
all
up.
trades. So I would like to get, and it probably wouldn't be able to be produced by the end of the year. It could, because the last one I did was produced in less than a year. But I would like to get back into that, dedicate more time to it. And my second thing, I would like to get chose.
Like to get chosen.
Yeah.
Do elaborate on that, please.
I mean, I think it was pretty straightforward.
You trying to get chose?
I'm trying to get chose.
Who you trying to get chosen by? You trying to get chosen by Joe Blow? Who are you trying to get chosen by?
By the Lord's designated appointee for me.
Thank you for that sanctified answer.
Yes.
Got you.
You are welcome.
Got it. Cool.
All right. So let me ask you. Is this our last? No. Do
I
we still
think
have 2 more?
I think we got 2 more.
Okay, let's try to make these quicker.
Yeah.
What event in your life would make a good movie?
What event in my life would make a good movie?
Yeah, I like movies, so
Wow.
tell me what event in your life would make a good movie.
I'm gonna go with college days. I think
You were acting a whole fool at the
man. You know what? I was a good dude.
define good. Good at what you did. You were good at what you did.
I was good at what I did.
There we go.
Let's
There
leave
we
it
go.
there. I was a good dude. I mean, that was just a fun period of time. I don't know why that stuck in my mind,
Yeah.
but
What about it would make it a good movie though? Because if you're, what would be different from the typical college experience?
Yeah. So I think obviously being a student athlete, I would like to lay that out from just a cinema standpoint, but also the kind of the work that goes into it, and that honestly that it's not everything. It's not what people think it is. And so I think the part that would make it riveting, what would make it a good riveting, that's an SAT word for you. The part that would make it just kind of, jump out at you is I would like to spin it to show the realities of college football and not painting it in a bad light or a positive light, just show the reality of it and what it is, the injuries that you got to deal with, the morning practices. A lot of people just kind of see the glitz and the glam and they don't see the reality of it. And then kind of shed some light onto the realities of that kind of after that period of your life is over with. Like, what do you do? I've seen a lot of my fellow athletes kind of struggle with that next phase in life. So I think that would make a good movie.
All right. Your turn.
Yep. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Why?
If I could go anywhere in the world, where would I go and why?
Yeah.
How long am I staying?
Let's just say you got a week. You got a week.
I want to go. I want to go to Bora Bora.
Bora Bora.
Yeah.
Wow. Why?
Because it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Okay. Is that an island? Is Bora Bora an island?
Let's say yes.
Okay. So she doesn't know where it is, but okay.
I saw it in a movie.
You saw it in a movie somewhere. Okay.
It looks so pretty.
Okay.
It looks so pretty.
Got you. So is it safe to say you want to get chose and the honeymoon will be in Bora Bora?
That would be very nice.
I'm putting 2 and 2 together. All right.
Bora Bora or Fiji.
Okay. I can ride with Fiji.
Yeah.
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 All right.
So 2019 is my year.
Got you.
My
It's your
year.
year. It's your year. There we go.
Name and claim.
There we go. Name and claim.
All right, and then lastly, this is our last question for you to kind of get to know us. What is something most people do easily but you find very difficult?
What is something that most people small talk. People do small talk so easily, and I hate it. I hate small talk because it's so inauthentic. It's not authentic. It's not really, and you know when people are doing small talk. Like, I can do it,
Right.
but
You have to work for it.
it's not even that I have to work for it. Like, it's just like an internal struggle. Like, I hate small talk.
Yeah.
I hate making small talk. It irritates me. I hate going into the office and asking people to say, "Oh, how was your weekend?" I don't care about it, but you got to do that.
Yeah.
Corporate politics. So, and so last question for you. So, listen, a butcher is 5'10" tall.
Okay.
What does he weigh?
However much he weighs, I don't know.
However much he weighs. Okay. Let me repeat that. A butcher is 5'10" tall. What does he weigh? What? Not how much, but what does he weigh?
He weighs the meat.
There we go. There we go. You answered the riddle. You got it.
All right.
You got it.
There we go. All right. So now that's just Cody and I. So now you know who we're talking, or who you're listening to rather.
Right.
And we could just dive right on in here to our first. We only have about 30 minutes.
Dive in.
So we can dive into our first topic, which is cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
Cody, do you want to pop that off?
Yeah, let's go ahead and just fire right into it. So, all right, cancel culture. My thoughts on it.
Well, first, you want to tell people what it means to you?
Yep. So, cancel culture. From my understanding, cancel culture is you have an event or you have a person that has done something that people don't agree with, and society has just canceled this person.
Yeah,
they have
canceled.
Deemed this person irrelevant. It's almost like they're subjugated to less than being a human being, almost in cancel culture.
Yeah.
And so what Michelle and I wanted to kind of talk about is, what are our thoughts on that? Is it right? Who are we to, cancel people and do all those things? So, and hopefully you guys can kind of weigh in on the internet and who's streaming with us. So, what are your thoughts on cancel culture?
Me personally, I'm opposed to it. I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, even if the people do terrible things. So the first thing that came to mind when I thought about the cancel culture, well, two things actually.
Yeah.
R. Kelly.
Oh, whoa.
R. Kelly.
Oh.
And
I don't see no.
he
You
don't
don't see nothing wrong?
Not with certain things.
Wow. Okay.
No. I didn't say R. Kelly is not wrong.
Okay.
Okay. R.
He
Kelly,
don't think he's wrong either.
No, you said either as though I said I didn't think he was wrong.
Okay.
I didn't say he wasn't wrong.
All right.
I say I disagree with cancel culture,
Okay.
which he has been a major face of recently.
So he's been canceled.
He's been canceled.
Okay.
R. Kelly and Kevin Hart. Two people that immediately come to mind. Kevin Hart was canceled because people dug up. He was announced as the host for the Oscars.
Yeah.
And then people dug up some tweets from like 2012. And then it was like, #cancel Kevin Hart. And I'm like, for what?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said homophobic things in 2012. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I said some crazy stuff in 2012
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's like, and I just think the idea that, and how many movies have we gone to see of Kevin Hart since 2012?
Mm-hmm.
How many people have bought tickets to his stand-up tour since 2012?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we canceling him in 2019?
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
How many little girls has R. Kelly peed on since
Lord, just come on
1996?
Wow. Man, just come out.
I'm
Just
just
go
gonna
straight
be
for the
real.
jugular. Just go straight for the jugular. You ain't even go.
I'm just going you know.
Wow, you just gonna
But
wow.
but that's my point. Like R. Kelly been fouled
Yeah.
for decades.
So
Literally.
do you play spades?
I do.
Man, so you just came out with the big joker. I
did.
mean, you just came on
Big-
out with
I
the big
didn't-
joker.
I'm not gonna play my lower spades until yours
You
run
just
out.
came on and just
Yeah.
laid it on the table. It's what it is. R. Kelly peed on some people. So here's my thoughts.
Right.
Here's my thoughts on this. Cancel culture, from a Christian perspective, we all know that everyone is worthy to be forgiven.
We all were.
Yeah, but
That's
we're
why
all
Jesus
forgiven.
died.
That's why Jesus died.
That's why
I
Jesus
get
died.
that. I don't think that everyone should be abdicated from the consequences of
Right.
whatever they do.
100%.
So canceling people depends on what you're talking about. So like, would I support R. Kelly personally? No, I would not pay for a concert. Is he canceled in my eyes? It depends on what your definition of
define
cancel is.
cancel.
Like, how do you define cancel? So, if I was an avid concert goer and I previously, saw R. Kelly concerts and found out about his less than
When you say previously, like P-tape previously,
yeah,
or post-tape, or
I'm
post-P-tape previously.
gonna go with a pre-P take. You know what I'm saying? Before he decided to.
But that was like 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
Which is my point. Like
Right.
people been new.
Yeah.
People been new.
Right. I mean.
And that's why I guess my issue with the canceling culture is I just don't think it's authentic.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
I just think it's hype. It's
Yeah.
this is popular right now. This is a hot topic.
Yep.
It's in the headlines. So you mad, we all mad.
Right.
Because we just canceling people.
Right.
And I personally think it's reckless. Again, R. Kelly should have been canceled in theory 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart, I'm not gonna say Kevin Hart should have been canceled ever, me personally.
Yeah.
And another thing I disagree with cancel culture is you can't just cancel them for yourself. You're going to tell me that I need to cancel this person too. And not just these 2 people. I'm talking about anybody. If someone does something crazy, it's like, this person's canceled. Okay, well, you cancel them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cancel them. Like, your views aren't necessarily my views. And it's like, I've never been to an R. Kelly concert.
Yeah.
So what am I canceling?
I'm inclined to agree with you on those 2 aspects. Just people trying to control the narrative of
Right.
who you should associate with and who you shouldn't. I definitely agree with you on that one. My stance is still, and I agree with you on the authenticity of it. I think it's popular. It's the popular thing. If so and so doesn't like you, I can't like you either.
Right.
And so that's something I have an issue with. But I feel like we should not necessarily judge people, but we should definitely look at. I think everyone's judged to a certain extent based on what they do. Like if I was to go run across this table and slap you, like I would be deemed a woman beater, right? And so
Right.
I would have to live with those
And I would
consequences.
be deemed a murderer.
Right.
After,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. You just gonna admit that on the air? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
You got
no
that?
shame.
Facebook, y'all hearing this, right? So no. So I mean, you have to live with the consequences.
Right.
So I think some things are worthy of people, quote unquote, being canceled, right?
Right.
So like, I cannot support a pedophile.
Yeah.
I will not do it. I
Yeah.
cannot do it. So am I damning this person? No, but I'm not supporting them. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
And I think that's perfectly legit. I guess my biggest issue with cancel culture, me personally, is the inauthenticity of it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, if certain people do, and I think before, more so than being canceled, people need to be incarcerated.
Yeah.
R. Kelly needs to be incarcerated.
That's a form of cancellation, though. I mean, it's
Kinda,
it's a
but
form
it's not necessarily what the cancel culture is about. They're just like, oh, ruin their careers,
Yeah.
smudge their name through the mud. But my thing is like, lock them up.
Mm-hmm.
And honest to God, some of the same people who are crying about it now, y'all the reason why he did what he did to all those other girls because you didn't report him or you took a payout rather than
Right.
say, no, I want him convicted.
Right.
I'm not going to take this monetary settlement.
Yeah.
I'm going to press charges and I'm gonna fight to the death of him.
I think that's a whole different conversation because, I mean, not that R. Kelly has a point at all in this. I don't think he has a stance at all. But
Right.
let's be real. Some people are just they saw a payday,
Right.
and I think we can move on from this one. But I think that's a good
Yeah.
subject to revisit.
All right. the man said move on, so we will go to the next topic.
Hey.
All right.
I have spoken.
He has spoken, and he likes to hear himself talk. Okay. Do the benefits of college outweigh the cost?
Oh man, that's a good one. Let me
take it away.
Yeah, let me go in.
Yeah.
So, I would say this one depends. This one depends. I was just having a conversation with some friends and family about this, and definitely depends. I think it depends on what you decide to pursue as a degree.
Okay.
I think, the book of Proverbs tells us to look well into things.
You like Proverbs?
I love Proverbs, the book of wisdom, the book of wisdom. Solomon is one of my favorite characters. That's my dude. That's my guy. For my New York folks, that's my guy. So, but no, I mean, so college, it depends. Like, what do you? I think first off, you got to kind of think about what you want to accomplish, because I think me and you came up around a time period where it was kind of the Great Recession, and people had gone and racked up tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt and hadn't quite figured out, they were underemployed or unemployed coming out of school after having all that debt. So it was just kind of crushing debt that they had accumulated, and you might be having a job, but you're a barista at Starbucks. Not to
don't
shade,
do baristas. Not
to shade baristas, but I would say if you got a degree in business management, you're probably a little bit underemployed if you're a cashier. Let's just be real. So, so I think you have to research your field, understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish by going to school, understand, I would say job shadow, follow people in the industry, understand how much that particular occupation makes starting out of school, do all those things, because college is a business. That's what they don't tell you. What they feed you is a dream.
College is a game.
College is a game. It's also a business. Like, it is a business. So I would say that it pays off for some, and for the uninformed or less informed, it can be a dirty game. So, I would say that just my advice would be to look well into it. Whatever you want to go study, don't waste a lot of time trying to figure out what you want to do. If you're undecided, if you don't know, don't take a bunch of classes and rack up a lot of debt trying to figure it out. That's my take on it.
I think college is, in theory, do the benefits outweigh the costs? I think they can.
Mm-hmm.
I think the benefits can outweigh the cost, but I think all too often they don't. If you want me to just be really honest with you,
Why?
I think for you and I didn't pay for mine.
I didn't either. Free 99.
Yes, I tell people I was on a daddy ship.
Wow.
I was on
to
a
TCU, man. Y'all got bread like that?
No, he has a what does he have? He has a
Mr. McKissic,
God
what's up?
in heaven.
God.
With a gold streets of gold.
Okay,
And
all right.
no, but really he had a home loan. He took, my dad did what he had to do.
Got you.
I tell people I had a parentalship. Other people have scholarships. That was you had a scholarship football anointing.
Right.
I just had a good mom and dad anointing.
Man, look.
And my daddy may disagree with you. So he would be his take, because he'd want to pay for it.
Yeah.
Would be interesting to hear. But like for me, I definitely think the job I have now, I wouldn't have it had it not been for my degrees.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that goes for both of us. But then I think there are some other people who, the jobs that they have, they could have definitely gotten them without their degrees. And then there are other people who, like you said, they just racked up all this debt. And thankfully that wasn't either our story. But in that case, if you're majoring in, like you said, pick your degree wisely. If you're going to major in something that pays $50,000 a year, don't pay $50,000 a year for that degree.
Bingo.
It doesn't make sense.
Bingo.
So no.
Can you say that again for the people in the back?
If you're going to pay $50,000, if you're going to get a job that pays $50,000 a year, don't get a degree that costs $50,000 a year.
Say it one more time.
Just pretend like you know what I said.
Yeah.
But no, I think, and a lot of people, they want to go to these, and I was a teacher. I taught high school for 5 years. And I would tell students, they're like, oh, Miss McKissic, I want to go to Stanford. I want to go to Harvard. I'd be like, why? What is your major? you want to be a teacher? You better take your butt right on to the UTA.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm a teacher.
But I respect that. I respect the realness that you gave the kids.
Yeah, like I didn't like. And matter of fact, I would tell kids go to TCC if you want to be really real with you. Go to TCC. I transferred into TCU. Now I transferred from another private school to TCU, but I transferred in with another girl. She came from TCC.
Yeah. Tell the listeners why you decided to do that. Was it to save money? Was it, I mean, why you transferred credits from community college into TCU? Like, why did you do that?
So I transferred from one private school to another.
Okay.
So that didn't really save any money. But for my homegirl who transferred in with me, she did come from TCC at the same time. We both have a degree that says Texas Christian University on it.
Yep.
No one cares about where you spent the first 2 years.
No one cares.
No one cares. It's what the piece of paper says.
Yep.
And so that's my thing. It's like, no, don't get this expensive tail degree if your job isn't going to support it and pay it back.
Amen. I couldn't agree more. I think in a nutshell, we're saying the same things. Like, I think college definitely has some benefits. One of the things that we haven't talked about is a benefit. I think that it exposes you to other thinkers, other cultures. So outside of the kind of the monetary benefit of what you potential earnings throughout a lifetime, there's other benefits to college. The exposure to other cultures, other thinkers. That's a lot of times where you make friends that honestly can change the world. It's not to say that you have to have a college degree to do that, but you get that exposure in college, and that's a benefit to it. But I think if we're being practical, we're all there to pursue a degree in education so that we can earn more in the later years.
But to that point, the point you bring up is what most students bring up as to why they don't want to go to a TCC. I want the cultural experience. I want the college life.
Yeah.
I want to live on campus. I want to know what it's like to be around all these different people.
Yep.
My first time on my own. And so they kind of put aside the community college because they want this 4-year college experience. And I'm like, guys, that's great. And there are, like you said, there are a lot of benefits outside of the classroom that college provides. But do you want to pay for those experiences when you're 40 years old?
Well, let's talk about it.
And that's my thing. Is like, it's a great experience, and you need that experience. But I don't want to pay for an experience at 40 that I had when I was 20.
Right. And and this is where I think that parents and counselors and people that are close to these young people, these 17, 18-year-old kids, because that's what they are, kids, you really are. I think back to my 17, 18-year-old self, like, I am not the same person.
Thank God.
Thank the Lord. But so to your point, I this is incumbent upon parents, counselors, people to kind of instruct these kids and tell them about what you just said. Like, do you want to pay 20 years for an experience that you had 20 years later that you had 20 years ago?
Right.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to be 45 paying for an experience that you had when you were 18.
And that legit happens. Like, I talked to this lady, and she was like, I just finished my college loans. I'm like, you married with 2 kids?
The Obamas they were still paying off student loans after they left office. I remember that. You remember that? You remember that story?
I don't remember.
Yeah, and they're pretty well to do. So,
But then again, but I will say, Obama wouldn't have been Obama had he not gone to Harvard.
Yeah.
So there are certain things like if you know what your destiny has in store for you, then you do have to make. You need to go to Ivy League. But I would tell my students, because I have some students, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, depending on what type of law and in medical practice you want to go into, some of the more prestigious universities will help. But I was like, but you have to go to law school. You have to go to medical school. You don't have to get your bachelor's there, though.
Yeah. I'm
like, save that money on the bachelor's side because you're going to have to spend so much on the graduate side. So like I said, college is a game. You got to learn how to play. So do the benefits outweigh the cost? It depends on how you play the game.
Young people,
ultimately,
talk to people that have graduated college, that are in the field that you want to work with. Talk to them. Where there are many plans, where there are many advisors, plans succeed. Where there is lack of advice, plans fail. So seriously, talk to people in that field. Don't think that you know it all, because I knew everything when I was 17 and 18. Yeah. And then I got a little older and realized that I didn't know anything. I knew nothing.
I knew that one thing.
So seriously, young people, talk to other people that are doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Get some other perspective on how to save money in college, how to even go about doing things, mentors, all those kind of things. Talk to other people.
All right, and you're welcome. That was some free advice. So
Free game. We ain't even gonna charge you.
we're not gonna charge you this time. All right. So lastly, we only have about 9 more minutes before we have to get out of here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into some things that we think that it's the beginning of the year. Here's some things that we're gonna leave. That we're gonna stop doing. We're not gonna do this moving forward. So
Let's leave
2019.
Said
one
we
I throw
gotta
it.
let it go.
Du-du-du-du-du.
Hey.
I'm kidding.
Michelle was on that Teddy P.
All right, sir. Do you want to get us popped off?
Yeah, so things we're leaving in 2019. Ladies. Let me pull the mic in closer. Ladies, please.
Say it from your chest.
Say it. Let me. Yeah, say it with my chest. Ladies, please stop wearing excessive makeup. And the lace front wigs is getting a little ridiculous. I'm not knocking.
knocking to me.
Man, listen. Hear your boy out. I'm not knocking beauty enhancement industry and all this, but sometimes it's getting a little ridiculous. Like, it's like if you paint on a face and you paint, like, literally, I know chicks that are painting on faces,
Yeah.
on faces. It looks like clown. Painting on eyebrows, those square eyebrows, that's terrible. Who said that looks good?
Other girls, and I will
That's
say
terrible.
a lot of things that girls do, they do it for other girls.
Right, it's terrible.
They think guys like them, but on the other hand, dudes say you don't like weave, you say you don't like the makeup, but those are the women that you choose.
Ladies, it's terrible.
Those are the women that you choose.
The guys that I roll with, they don't roll like that.
These women ain't dressing up for nothing, though. They out here getting chose, and because y'all say y'all want the natural beauty, y'all say y'all want I want somebody who's simple and doesn't do too much. But then you go and pick the woman who looks like, a petite clown. And so that tells the natural beauty, you better go clown it up if you want to get chose. They say they don't like it, but low-key they love it.
As for me and my house,
Yeah,
we shall serve the Lord, and we will do away with all that clown stuff.
that's what he say. Ladies, so y'all keep hold men accountable. Hold them accountable. They say they don't like it, call them out.
Hey.
Call them out. We can call out in 2019. I'm
And-
all for it. Call out in 2019.
And I'm not just picking on the ladies. I'll throw.
You said ladies 5
Man,
times.
you know what I'm saying? I just had to drive the message home. Let me say it one. Ladies. All right. Designer clothes. That's another one. Hey, let's stop building other people's brands. Let's stop building other people's brands and start investing in ourselves. That's
Yeah.
really all it is. Like, you can see Michelle and ourselves. Like, I can share some things with you financially that will probably blow y'all's minds. Some of our listeners, you don't see any labels.
Yeah.
You won't see any labels on Michelle's body. And most people, I'll just say this, most people who actually have things don't flaunt wealth.
Yeah.
Wealth and money, they don't flaunt it. Like, they're used to it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So it's the pretentious people that are going around saying, hey,
wanna be something.
look at my $2,000 purse.
Right.
Look at this
And
belt.
insecure.
And they're insecure. And I'm like, listen, if that's what you're into, that's cool. But, like, $2,000 could be invested into something that could pay you. That's
Right.
how wealthy people think. They look at opportunities to find things that will pay them, not paying and building someone else's brand. That's foolishness, and we need to stop doing that as a culture.
All right, that's good. What you got next? What is the next thing we're gonna?
And stop listening and watching gossip, man. TMZ.
I feel personally attacked by this one.
Listen. Stop the foolishness. Like, let me ask you a question. After you get finished watching it,
Yeah.
do you feel edified after? What do you feel after you finish watching Wendy Williams or TMZ? What do you feel?
I don't watch Wendy Williams. I used to watch TMZ, and I felt giddy.
Giddy. Why did you feel giddy?
It was funny. To me, it's comical.
It's comical.
Yeah.
Laughing at celebrities?
Anyone.
Anyone. Well, they just follow celebrities.
To be honest. No, but when you say gossip, so do you just mean celebrity gossip? Or
Celebrity gossip of any kind. Like,
I used to be far more into celebrity gossip than I am now.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one of those things. When I was in college, I thought MTV, VH1, and BET. I thought those were everything.
Yeah.
And I never saw myself not watching them. Now I don't even know what stations they are on my television. So I used to be into celebrity and pop
Yeah.
culture a lot more than I am now. But regular folk gossip, church gossip, shoot, that's amazing.
Well, let me just
I'll be really honest with you.
let me just throw this out here. No shots at anybody, but
Yeah.
imagine a life where you were so enthralled.
Yeah.
No, the SAT word. That you
trying
were
to
so
back.
enthralled in your own life, in your own trip to Bora Bora or
Yeah.
Fiji.
I gotta get chose first.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if you were with a guy, he chose you,
Hey.
he put a ring on it.
Hey,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And imagine if that was your
Yeah,
life
from your
every
mouth
day,
to
the
God's
love of
ears.
your life,
Yeah.
you know, coming home,
Well, maybe if that
doing those
happened,
things.
then I wouldn't be worried about gossip.
So the point that I'm trying to make
Okay,
is
make
if
it.
you tend to your own business, then maybe you wouldn't be so worried about the gossip of others. That's all I'll say. That's the
true.
point that I was going to make. If you tend to your own
Yeah.
garden, you won't be worried about anyone else's.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I think, well, you know, that's just my 2 cents on that.
My sister just said having nice bags does not make you insecure. She wanted to put her 2 cents in there.
I don't, hey, you said it. You said it. I mean, I didn't say that.
No,
say anything.
I said people who constantly
Yeah.
flaunt it.
Yeah.
And there's because my sister likes bags.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's insecure at all. But I do think there are certain people who their things make them who they are.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to get your identity tied up
Right,
into
right,
what
right,
you
right.
want. Because I think we all like nice things.
Yeah.
Let's not get it wrong. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, I like nice things.
And the nice things that you like might not
Exactly.
show themselves as a name brand.
Right.
But you know, everyone has their thing, right? Those
Absolutely.
are her thing. But there are definitely certain people whom their identity is in, like, look at the things that I wear.
Right.
Look at the brands that I represent. And I
Right.
think that is indicative oftentimes of insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're rich and that's just what you do, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not necessarily talking to you.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Carla. So one of the things I'll interject before you do your next one is I think we need to stop being fake
Hey,
at whatever we're being fake at.
speak on it.
One of the things that strikes me in particular is our Christianity. I think a lot of us are,
Oh, snap.
yeah, we
Wow.
I think a lot of us I'm not gonna say we out here fronting, but we definitely aren't living the Christ life as much as we should,
Oh,
and as
Lord.
much as we are you feeling personally attacked?
Whoa, hey, man, I'm
But,
feeling. Wow. I'm getting along. Wow.
But no, I do think a lot of us, like in 2019, if you saved, be saved. If you not, don't. Like, you know,
Don't
like,
be lukewarm.
don't be lukewarm.
Don't be
hot
lukewarm.
or cold. Hot or cold. And I think, and there's a difference between, I'm not saying if you're being saved, be perfect.
Yeah.
And if you're not perfect, then denounce your faith.
Yeah.
But I am saying if you aren't fully accepting of your faith and what it's requiring of you, then just be like, I'm on break. Like, be like Ross and Rachel.
Wow.
And that's not sanctified or holy whatsoever. But the problem is when you don't announce that you're on break, you mislead others as to what Christianity is.
Yeah.
And you're doing the faith a disservice by living 1 foot in, 1 foot out, as opposed to just saying, you know what, like, I'm not on that right now.
Yep.
And that sounds harsh, and that's not what you often hear preached in church. But I think Christians are some of the worst. We're some of the worst advocates for Christianity.
We are.
And I think if you know that that's you right now, take a step back and quit being like, oh, how are you blessed and highly favored? But you live in, you know, raunchy and, you know, and trifling.
Raggedy. Yeah.
Yeah, like, no, you're not blessed and highly favored. You sorry and trifling. I'm kidding. But I would say, like,
Dems be fighting words.
Them's
man.
fighting words. But fight for the faith, though.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like, in 2019, if you're going to be saved, be saved.
Be
And if
saved.
you're not, chill out on telling everybody you are.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I absolutely would agree with that. It can be a little soul jarring to hear someone just say it like that, but I would agree with that. Like Jesus said, I will spew you out of my mouth if
Yeah.
you're lukewarm. So, you know, he detests that type of that type of Christian. So no,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Our time is coming to an end. Do you have one thing, and we just hit it real quick?
Yeah, I would just close it with, you know, let's stop doing so much talking and start doing. Whatever your New Year's resolution is, whatever it is, that thing that you're going for in 2019, go for it.
Yeah.
Start making some plans, go for it. If you want to lose weight, if you want to get fit, if you want to find a husband, if you want to look for a wife.
What we doing to get a husband? Tell me.
Man,
What is the plan?
that's another topic for another show.
Give me the roadmap.
I might have to charge y'all for that one, ladies. But no, that's actually a good topic for another show. But whatever it is that you sought out to attain in 2019, go for it.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it. Let's do it.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Be about it.
All right, y'all. Well, that's our hour.
Hey.
I hope you enjoyed the Cody and Michelle. It's
Power
a family
hour.
affair. Yeah, power hour. Yeah, I think it's time for us to get on out. I have no idea how to control the stuff to do that. So Miss Marilyn is gonna work her way back in
Thanks
here.
for tuning in.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone for listening. Facebook and all my homies on GroupMe and whatnot. Love you guys.
She said, all my homies.
Wonderful,
there we go.
wonderful job, guys. Y'all, we're going to take a break for just a few minutes so that we can get ready for our next audience to come in. But y'all make sure to shout out to Mr. Cody and Mrs. Michelle and let them know how wonderful of a job that they did. I know they probably felt a little nervous, but y'all flowed really well. Y'all did really good. So we'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll have our teens in the show, guys.
Nobody
We ready? Okay, so hey y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us as we well actually first I just want to introduce myself. I'm Jess, of course, and then we got Jordan over here. Joe, you want to?
I'm Jordan.
We got Kenzie,
Hello.
and we got our cousin Shell.
Hey, hey.
Y'all, this is so funny, first of all, because we have an opportunity to come on with our daughters at least like once a month just to talk about different topics, and this is our first time going on. This is our first time going on live, and so y'all just bear with us and just feel free to drop your comments. I'm live, my daughter's live on Instagram, Jordan Denise, my cousin is live on Facebook, Chaz Dixon, and McKinzie is also live on IG. So make sure to join the conversation, drop your questions, drop comments, whatever it is that you need to do. So just to, just to join into the conversation. So we're going to get this started. We're going to get this started, y'all. Okay, so today our topic is about mothering blind. And you may ask, what is mothering blind? Mothering blind is just basically, we want to tell you guys about our struggles, the things that we've endured, just as we've been mothering. I've been a mother for the last 14 years. Jordan is about to be 15 next month, so I'm excited about that. During that time, it's been a really great journey. Is this the camera? Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, y'all. I'm sitting up here looking at my Facebook Live. I'm sorry. So again, Jordan is about to be 15. So I just kind of want to jump into my part of mothering blind, and then after that we're all going to get an opportunity to come in and talk just about our experience. I'm going to start out first. Chaz is going to go second, and then we're going to join the girls in, our girls in, so that they can give you guys a perspective about what their experience was like. So I know that many of you know that well, some of y'all know anyways, that I started off as a mother at the age of 16. So you got to understand, like, I think I was a sophomore or a junior in high school. So that was a big, that was a big step for me. And of course, it was something big for our family, where my mom, I think she was newly married. My two brothers were in the house, seeing their little sister, pregnant at that young age. And I think it kind of took a toll on everybody or whatever. So, but my mothering blind I know that this may seem kind of crazy or whatever, but mothering for me, I remember having Jordan. I remember all of that kind of stuff, but I don't remember like a lot of it. And I think that it's because I had so much help. Like, as I was a young girl, young teen, I had my brother and his wife. I had my mom and her husband. Everybody's there to go in and help raise Jordan. And I think that my journey for mothering did not start until the year of 2014, when I decided to step outside of my mother's home and get a home of my own, so that I can raise Jordan myself. And so just going through that, finding an apartment, finding a good job to be able to sustain myself and Jordan, finding a good school for her to go to, and things like that. It's like I feel like I have just now kind of started that journey, and now I'm on a kind of just now finding my rhythm. And so it's just been a lot of things like that's just come up, and things to look out for, that you sometimes don't see when you have that help that's there. And so that's kind of my story of just opening up as part of my mothering blind. And so I just want to speak to Chaz and see what her story is about.
I think as far as when it comes to the journey of mothering, the unique thing about McKenzie and Jordan is that Jessica and I were raised together as like sister cousins. And we end up being pregnant at the same time. And I think that the difference, we both had those struggles, but the difference was I was about to get married, yet that expectation was I wasn't supposed to be pregnant yet. The difference, I think, with Jessica was that she was a teen mother and she wasn't supposed to be pregnant yet. So although we had those different expectations, there were still expectations set for our lives. And we both felt like we weren't meeting them, that we kind of like missed the mark at some point. So when it came to Jordan and McKenzie, our mothers played a major part in raising them because we were mothering blind. We were trying to learn how to be mothers and how to do it in the right way. And I think too, with me about to be married, it wasn't just McKenzie. I was mothering multiples. So it was just like, okay, not only do I not know how to be a mother, but I'm having to mother multiple children at one time. And so I know that with McKenzie, for me, and I know that she can speak on this too, it was more or less like, not to say she grew up as my sister because we do have boundaries, but I think we call each other accountability partners because at the end of the day, as she was growing up, she was teaching me as I was teaching her. She was teaching me how to mature as I was teaching her what not to do in life. You know, those things that the mistakes that I felt like I made, I felt like they were made purposely because God is a strategic God. And, you know, I just didn't want her to go down that path. And I know that she can speak on this as well. But even to this day, no matter what we've gone through, a lot of the struggles and the good times we've endured together. I can't say that about my other children, but I can say that about McKenzie. McKenzie and I have had some really, really good highs, and we've had some really, really bad lows, but through it all, we've kept one another accountable during those things. Want to say something?
Yeah, for sure. All the struggles have brought us closer. Because when we go through things, when she goes through things, it's like we go through it together, and like it's almost like we're like best friends, you know. Of course, this is my mother, I'm her child, but like we're best friends. She knows everything about me, I know everything about her. We talk about everything. Like if you want to know anything about me, ask my mom. So yeah, I'm glad that we had the struggles that we had and that we will have, because I mean every struggle, it brings us closer. So you know, I'm grateful for all the struggles, no matter how bad they were, no matter, you know, how not bad they were. They just like brought us closer, and our relationship is way better now than it was before.
And I think that goes in the natural and the spiritual as well, because at that moment with having McKenzie, I realized that this life was not about me. That, you know, once I saw how great she was and how powerful she was, I realized, like, God, you know, I'm honored and I'm humbled to even be this little girl's mother. So with that being said, that was accountability in itself. Like, I had to get my stuff together. I had to start doing some things different because God was holding me accountable for this little girl's life. And anyone who knows McKenzie knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like, she is a diehard Christian. Of course, she's a teenager, so she has to find that balance. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm proud to say that I am her mother. She's not ashamed to say that she loves God and she lives for God. And every decision that she makes is based on the foundations that's been set before her. And when I look back over my life, you know, I'm pretty sure her dad says the same thing. Yeah, we made some mistakes, but we're glad that we made the mistakes that we did, because we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Michelle, I want to say that where you said that you kind of had to get yourself out of the way. I think that was a hard part for me because I grew up with two boys in the house, and I'm the only girl. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, it was all about me. I didn't really in my own world, and I still am most of the time. But I think that one of the things about Jordan and raising her, by myself for these last 4 or 5 years, it's kind of taught me to, you know what, this is not about you. I mean, it is not about you. You have to get yourself out. You kind of have to take yourself out of the picture, because you're responsible for this blessing, you know what I'm saying, that God gave you. No matter how she may have come, whatever the case is, get your shame and all that good stuff or whatever out of the way, and you have to raise this child, you know what I'm saying, the best way that you can. And you can't have your feelings all on your shoulders,
right?
Like I be trying to do, and all the time it's like you have to show her and guide her, just on her journey. Jordan, what you think?
We're the total opposite from them. We're not best friends, but like,
I think y'all keep each other in check.
Yeah, Jordan keeps me in check for sure. Like, I'm gonna let her talk though.
And when I do start thinking we friends, it changed real quick.
Elaborate on that. What you mean?
Like, one day you'll be like real happy, and I'll be like, ooh. So I just start playing, and then I'll say something too extra. You be like, why you do that? And then you just get mad out of nowhere, and you do all this stuff. So, yeah, I don't think we that close.
I don't think it's not the fact that y'all aren't close, Jordan. I think it's the fact that it goes back to what your mom said, as far as her just learning that she has to get herself out of the way in her emotions. And so I don't think that she doesn't want the relationship to be what you want it to be. It's just that she doesn't know how to stabilize, those emotions when they come up or when they rise. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I would say.
You calling me stepping on the low? No.
So, I mean, because the truth of the matter is, if it wasn't for me being in youth ministry for so long, I wouldn't be the way that I am with McKinzie. I believe that God is a strategic God, and He knew the equipment that I was going to need in order to raise my child. Anyone who knows her knows that she is very vocal. McKinzie is very vocal, and I don't shut my children out at all. I want them to be transparent. However, we do set boundaries. I do believe in boundaries in every relationship that you have. So even with that, I think that that's just something that needs to be put in place, is just having those boundaries, because at the end of the day, she did have you as a teenager. Y'all are close in age, and y'all do need to have that openness and, that relationship where you could be open with her and she can be open with you as well as where she is.
Yeah. And I think that since we moved out of my mom's house, I know that Jordan, that was one of the things I was most afraid of when we moved or whatever, is how was Jordan gonna react to it? Like some people don't even know that Jordan, like, I moved when Jordan was still in the 5th grade, and I wanted to just be like, you know what, you coming down here with me, we finna go ahead and get this journey started. Y'all, Jordan was at the house with my mama, and they were in the bed or whatever. My mama, I guess it was like late at night or whatever, and Jordan literally just popped up and was like, Granny, please don't let me go, And so my mama called me like that next morning, and she was like, just let her stay and finish out her 5th grade year, and then in the 6th grade, let her come on in. And so I felt that was a even trade or whatever, and I think that helped out, because when Jordan did come, while she was still there in Tyler with my mom during her 5th grade year, I think it helped her kind of just prepare herself, finishing up the time with her friends, with, the elementary she had been at for so long, and then even finish up that time with her granny, with her uncle, with her aunt, before she came on down. Jordan, can you kind of talk? Me and Jordan have talked a little bit about this, but can you kind of take them through that experience that you had, so I won't be talking for you?
I didn't want to come to Arlington because it was like my mama was doing it, She did it out of nowhere, so I was like, I'm trying to stay here. But like I low-key miss it because I feel like the people there, it felt like more home, I guess. Like all the kids I hung out with, somehow they knew my mama and my mama knew their mamas, or they could relate a lot more than some of the people I see now. They understand more of the life that I was living back home.
Yeah. So, show what you think. Or Kenzie.
McKenzie is over here being quiet. I can't believe that.
Well, I know when you were talking, you said about how, you know, youth ministry played in a big part of like the tools of raising me and stuff. And like for a while, I felt like youth ministry was taking my mom away from me because, you know, it's a lot of older kids that she spent her time with. She mostly spent time with teenagers, of course, and I wasn't always a teenager, so they always had her time and everything. Not saying that she wouldn't, you know, come home, spend time with us, because most of the time we were with her, but I just felt, you know, insecure in where we stood, and that's one thing that I had to learn over time. Like, I can share my mom with other people, and she's still my mom. Like, she's not going nowhere. Mm-hmm. So, that was, you know, something that I had to learn, and something that, you know, I'm glad that I had to learn, because had I not, I don't think we would be where we are today, because I wasn't really good at speaking my feelings. Like, this is probably the first time my mom has heard me say this, but I wasn't, like, you know, really good at speaking my feelings. I didn't really like to, but now it's, like, totally different. Like, youth ministry is something that, you know, I love to see her do, and I've grown close with a lot of the kids that she's worked with and everything. So, you know, like I said, the struggles just bring us closer.
Yeah, and that alone was a transition that I had to make too, because I had to make sure. I was like, God, I know this is the calling that I have on my life, and I knew I was spending time with my children. But as McKenzie got older, I really realized that McKenzie was just selfish with her mother. She didn't want to share, you know, me with anybody. It didn't matter if I spent all day with her and I had to go be at church for like an hour. She could be asleep. She would wake up, Mama, where you going? You know? And so I had to really just find that balance. And once I found that balance and we had our talks, and now she looks at those teens, and now they're really young adults and they have their own families, but she looks at them like her big sisters and her big brothers. And so we're grateful that we have all of them, because her father and I, we did nurture a lot of those children. We brought them in our homes, and I know that it had an effect on not just McKenzie, but all of our children, from the oldest to the youngest. However, I believe that the effect was more positive than it was negative. So yeah, that was one of the struggles that we did have to get through, just finding that balance, and just even throughout the different struggles that we've encountered. We keep talking about struggles, but we're not really going into detail, but a lot of people don't know, when I was fighting ovarian cancer, McKenzie was literally the one who stood by my side and was the one that was taking care of me, the one that was taking care of Michaela, the one that was taking care of Caleb. So when I say accountability, and she's more accountability partner and a friend to me than she is my daughter, I really mean that, because she's been there no matter what. We talking about mother and blind, she was daughter and blind. You know, she didn't know what she had signed up for. She didn't ask to be here, but the Lord knew what was in her and equipped her with everything that was in her until this day. You know, I'm forever grateful for him just blessing me with her, because she is a jewel. She's a diamond in the rough, as they say. And I couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like, talking about that mothering blind, daughtering blind. I know that people see, like, you know, me and my mom or whatever, and they say, you know, I wish I had a relationship, you know, with my mom the way that you have with your mom. And and that is good. Like, me and my mom, we are very close, but we're also, just like Jordan and I, we're very different. And I think that one of the things that that I wish that I had as a child or as a teen or whatever it is that's growing up was that closer relationship, what I'm saying, with my daughter. And I think that talking about mothering blind, it's like with Jordan, it's like sometimes where she says that sometimes you off and sometimes you on, she's very true, because it's like I want to be close or whatever the case is, but when we start getting too close, it starts looking too unfamiliar to me, and I'm just like, hold on, there's something on the inside of me that's just like, something about this isn't right. Like, how do you have that relationship, with your daughter when you didn't know what type of, I guess, what a mother-daughter, relationship, like a friendly mother-daughter relationship looked like. And I think that's something that I kind of have to go through in my mind and in my thoughts, like in those quiet times, is when I ask myself, like, why weren't me and my mom like that close or whatever the case is. I have to think about, my mom was raising two hard-headed boys, and with this this fragile, emotional girl in the house, my mama she's more of a militant mom. It's just like she don't have time for all the emotional stuff, this and the other. And it took me a long time, like, to figure that part out, where what I saw like as rejection, it's like it wasn't rejection, it's just she mothered differently. And so now Jordan is a little bit different, I guess, and I'm still trying to figure out, how do you mother this daughter when you're still trying to figure out your own mother-daughter relationship, and you starting something new. Jordan, what you think? Yeah, she's so petty. She's so petty. Let's go ahead and get ready.
I think that your way of like mothering is the opposite of how you were raised. Like, I don't think you would see it, but you're very overprotective. But I think that's just because the experience you had when you were a teenager, you weren't looked over as much, and that's how a lot of stuff happened. That's how I was created.
Oh, dang. Okay. She said nobody was watching me.
well, somebody was watching her, but
Yeah. I still did what I wanted to do, though.
Yeah.
So, like, you watch me extra hard, even though you don't see it. Like, you're like, why don't you want to hang out with da-da-da? Because if I hang out with them, you'll be like, just saying extra stuff, like, don't do da-da-da, don't da-da-da. And I just be like, what's the point? And I just be like, what's the point of going? I'd rather just stay at home and watch TV and, not have nobody saying all this stuff.
But Jordan, I think that, and this is to you too, Jess, my mom and I have had this talk several times. It goes back to the way that they were raised. It's the lack of transparency. I always said when I had my kids, I would give them all of those things that I felt like I needed when I grew up. And I believe that what you're looking for in that relationship, not just with Jordan, but also with your mother, is more transparency, where everyone can be open across the board. This generation that's coming up, they don't just want to hear it just because you said so. They need to see it. It's something that they need to see. They need to understand that we didn't just get here just magically, getting here. It was a process. What was that process? I'm very open with my kids, and some would debate and say that I'm too open, but I'm transparent with them because I need them to understand why behind the what. Like, no, I don't need you to do this because this is what happened when I did it. Oh, yeah. This is what happened. I'm not saying that you're me, but this is the chances that you're taking when you encounter in these situations. So I'm very transparent, not only with my biological children, but my spiritual children as well. I need for them to understand that There's a process in all of this. I wasn't always saved, and sometimes I question myself to see if I'm still saved because of some of the choices and the decisions that I make. But at the end of the day, this generation of teens and young adults, even with us, we need transparency. We need someone that can talk to us and show us the way and not just tell us you need to turn left because I told you so.
I think that even with Jordan, sometimes I feel like I'm a little too transparent. Like I'll tell Jordan sometimes that I'll tell her my story of when I had her, or even before I had her. I will let Jordan know that, Jordan, your mom didn't want children. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have and I think this is also the reason why I'm single too. I didn't have the capacity to invite somebody else into my life, outside of Jess. And who is the most perfect person to give a child to than, and I'm saying like God to bless a child with, than to bless somebody like me with a child. I want to, even though I didn't see it like this until now, until recently, is that just I want you to get outside of yourself, because this world is not all about you. And I don't know. Yeah. So I'm still learning that part.
Yeah.
Just to learn how to invite somebody in. What's up, Jordan?
Somebody asked, like, on Facebook Live, they gave like a story of their, like, when I said that how I played too much.
D, this coming to you.
And she was like, what do you do when that happens? What I do is I just stop and like let her go through her moods. And then the next day I'll do it again. And then, cause she go through moods like every other hour. Like,
I'm very moody. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I am really moody.
We all are.
So I just let that mood pass, and I do it again. And then when the mood come back, I'll stop. I'll do it again.
Do you do it on purpose?
No.
Oh.
I just do it because that's my personality.
Okay.
Your personality is like that.
Serious.
Yeah. You're more serious than me, and I'm more like laid back. I kind of do whatever comes to my mind at the moment. So that's how I deal with that.
Yeah, I think mothers can be very moody, but I guess that's where the transparency comes in. I feel like, you should always tell your mother when you're down, if you don't want to be bothered, because then if she come and she bother you while you in your room locked up, and then you're like, can you leave me alone? Now I got them wondering like what's wrong with her, when all you had to do was tell them in the first place. And I feel like it should be the same vice versa, like, let me know when you upset. Well, she don't have to tell me because I already know. But like when she get mad, I'm just like, you want something to drink? You want me to go clean up? Like, what you want me to do?
No, you'll tell me I'm going to my room.
Yeah,
I'm not saying nothing. I'm going to my room.
Cause I don't want to get chopped in my throat, y'all. So, we're girls, so we have mood swings all the time. Like, it's nothing new. Girls, you know what we talking about. Like, I can be happy right now, and like 15 minutes later, I'm finna be upset. Because, that's just, I guess, how hormones work. But, you just gotta go through it, get through it, and then, things will get back to how they were before.
I don't know if that's normal or not, but it was a joke when we were growing up. I know my mom used to always say that I should have been Jessica's mom's daughter and Jessica should have been her daughter. But I believe that for Jordan and McKinzie too. McKinzie is a lot like Jessica when it comes to that seriousness. It's like they can switch, and I'm like, okay, Jesse, you playing right now? Or are you for real? Like, which one? You playing? Because, I like the joke. And me and Jordan are very sarcastic. We are very serious, and we're very logical, yet we're very comical. And Jess and McKinzie don't find that funny. So, it's like, so I really believe somewhere along the line something got switched up in there. But that's just one of those things where we just really find we have to find that balance. Again, it goes back to it, and McKenzie, she's a very special case. She is a very special case. Lord bless her.
Let's not do that.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, so I guess I kind of want to. I'm sitting up here thinking about just a question in my mind or whatever. Like, I want to ask the girls that if you could say like anything to us, keep it respectful, but what I'm saying, keep it 100 at the same time. If you could say anything like to your parents or whatever, sitting right here, what is that's something that you would say? And Kizzy and Jordan, either one of y'all can go first.
Honestly, I think I would say not to expect what you see everybody else doing, because like you see mother and daughter post all the time, but not everybody is the same, not every relationship is the same. So I just want to like keep it us. Don't like try to make it be something that it's not. Just keep it like us. Don't expect nothing that you see outside of us, like,
So you calling me fake?
No. Oh. I'm just saying, like, yes, we argue, we not perfect, like, we gonna argue, let me rephrase that, we're gonna have disagreements, and, we're gonna go through stuff, but, like, that doesn't mean that we can't, like, just, like, keep it 100, like, don't be trying to, like, I don't know, like, don't expect what you see everybody else doing, like, because I know for me, I like, keeping it 100. Like, I don't like doing what everybody else do. I like being, like, apart from everybody. I don't like being in the crowd. I like doing what I do. So I want to, like, I don't want to be what everybody else do. I don't want to match how everybody else matching on Instagram with their mama. I want us to, we can discoordinate, that's good, but, like, I just want us to be us, not nobody else.
I think we already do that, though. I think that we're both alike in that manner, to where we like to stand out from the crowd. We don't like to do what everyone else is doing. But I think what Jessica was asking you may be more or less, and I could be wrong, if there was something that you had to tell us, whether it was now or back when you were a little girl, if it was something that you would say, whether it was a change or to stay the same, what would you say?
I would say not to take the blame for my emotions, because I know there was a lot that happened when I was younger that I feel like you and Daddy might have, taken the blame for it, but honestly, it probably wasn't even your fault. I was just, younger, trying to, find my way through things, me being younger, not really, I knew who God was, but not really, like, tapping into him, like, my emotions were always, up and down. So I would say not blaming yourself for my emotions.
That is so good. Look, I'm going to say this and then we're going to let Jordan talk. Y'all, if there is like an Instagram or a meme or post or whatever that I saw, it's like that says that something about like where we may have taken the wrong turn in life or whatever the case is, and we just messed up our whole life, and then the reply to that is that don't think that you are that powerful, because you're not. God knows exactly the routes and all that kind of stuff that we were going to take, and we're not that powerful to mess up our own lives, because no matter what the most craziest thing that we can do or whatever, God still has a way of taking that thing and turning it in around for his own glory and still making it work. So Jordan, what you think?
Am I answering the question you asked?
Yes.
I would say, as a parent, don't put your emotions, like if you mad about what happened at work, or like don't, if your kids are having a good day, don't kind of not ruin it, because nobody can ruin your day, but don't bring it down because you had such a bad day. And you are the parent, so you're dominant which means they can do whatever you ask them to do. So a lot of parents don't realize it, but don't take advantage of them being a kid and using your emotions to kind of rule over them.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that too.
Well, I don't. No, okay.
I think the reason that we say we like that is because that's one of the rules in our house, not just for the parents but for the kids too. If you have a bad day at school, if you have a bad day at work, that was school, and you have to leave it there, because once we come home, that's our safe haven. And whatever type of day we had when we were not in our safe haven, we should be able to feel safe and secure in that place. So I really like that, and I'm pretty sure Kenzie, she can agree to say the same, because the truth of the matter is we're all we have. You know, this world. I always tell them, you know, when you're out there, I can't always be with you. So when you encounter those things, make sure you tap into God. Y'all know who God is because the foundation is there, but you got to tap into him. So, and sometimes kids don't always do that. So when they come home, they don't expect an angry or bitter mom or dad. They expect to be loved and comforted and, you know, listened to. I'm going to be honest with you. My kids, when they come in, and McKynzie will tell you, they come in and they're just talking. I hear half of what they're saying, and half of the stuff they're saying I don't, because everybody's talking at one time and they're bombarding me with it. However, I let them talk, and they know when I say, okay, time up, let's cut the lights off and let's go to bed. But I never want them to bring home their issues and vice versa. Once we hit that garage door, it's it. Everybody drop it off and leave it there, because when we come in, it's a fresh start.
So let me ask you this, for the other parents that are watching that that struggle with bringing their emotions, like if you pissed off, or if you're upset about something that happened at work, or you're upset about something that happened in your relationship, or something, you know, didn't go right, something, your bank account, you know what I'm saying, the electricity bill was taken out and it was $200, you know, and you needed that money for the next 2 weeks, and it's like it's ruined your mood, like literally. And here it is, you picking your kid up, and they're getting in the car. They don't know anything that's going on, but they want to tell you about something great that happened in their life that day, but you're so upset that you can't hear, you know what I'm saying, you can't even think or whatever. And now that they feel that energy, they feel that vibe, it's like they don't even, you know, what was happy, you know what I'm saying, going on happy with them, they don't even want to share it anymore. So I guess my question is like, how do you go ahead and make up your mind beforehand and decide that, you know, no matter what happens with you, you are not going to take that out on your children? And how do you actually one, make up your mind to say that, and then two, how do you create that atmosphere in your home so that your children can feel that love and feel that, you know, you are there for them?
Well, I would say, number one, it was not something that happened overnight. This was a process that I had to go through, and I had to learn how to control me. I had to learn what was more important. Number two, I had to focus on how my emotions was affecting my children. And once as the protective mother I am, once I saw, like, I'll protect my kids from anything and anyone, including myself. So once I saw that I was that person that was disturbing their peace, I was like, God, we're going to have to do something different.
Yeah.
So, you know, because if I'm asking God for peace, I want my children to have peace too. And if I'm saying that this is our safe haven, and I'm pretty sure McKynzie will vouch for this too, if there's an issue going on with me, they never know until I open my mouth. Even if I have to leave, I will take them home. I'll listen to them. It's a choice that you have to make up in your mind that this is not going to affect me and my peace or my children's atmosphere. Even if I have to take them home and go to the grocery store and, you know, do whatever it is and talk to God, because in that drive,
from them.
yes, separate from them, because in that drive, I'm going to let them go home and be peaceful, but I'm not going to bring that in the house. If my spirit is disturbed, I don't even get out of my car. I don't bring that in my house, because one thing that I do believe is that's my children's peace. I'm not going to disrupt it. I'm not going to allow anyone else to disrupt it. So like I said, McKenzie can vouch. I'll drop them off and tell them, hey, they won't even know. I'm going to the grocery store. I'll be right back. I'll go to the grocery store, get whatever it is that I need. By the time I come back, I'm in a better position. My head, I'm in a better headspace. My spirit is right, because I have tapped into where I need to tap into, which is the Holy Spirit, rather than, because a lot of times our flesh can override our spirit if we're not careful. And I have to take that back and begin to, start taking control again, because a lot of times the reason that we're like that is because we're selfish and we want to be about us and we want to be in our feelings, but we need to become selfless. When we had children and when we became parents, it wasn't about us anymore, and it wasn't about our emotions. So if that means we have to put our emotions on the back burner until it's time, even if that time is a month later, you deal with it a month later.
That's too long.
It's not too long when it comes to your children, and that's the thing. So you have to make up in your mind and make that choice. And once you make that choice, then, it's consistency. It's the way that I live. It's the choice that I've made for me and my children.
Okay. So, well, let me ask the question. Dee said, I've been that person. I just began to get my peace just first before I get to them. I make the choice to be as upbeat and positive as possible, so I don't bring them down. Yeah, Dee, I agree with that. And so I'm not gonna lie, that's something that I'm still learning, because if y'all know me, like if I'm upset or whatever the case is, I wear my feelings on my shoulder, and you're gonna know it. And so one of the things that I'm learning, especially like I just started working over at UT Arlington, and one of the things that I'm learning is that these kids don't care about what you're going through, like I work around students all day long, and they don't care about what it is that you're going through. It's like you are there in order to create a good environment for them, and that's something that I'm learning also to bring home in my own life, is to make sure and create that healthy and positive environment and supportive and loving environment in the house with Jordan. And so we are actually about to get ready to close out, but I kind of want to let the girls like close out.
I'll say something.
Okay.
Okay, so on the topic it was just on, I'm gonna like go end up with that. Basically saying I've been trying to get my mom to hop on, my wave, cause I've been stress free all 2019.
You already know.
Like I don't worry about nobody.
How you do it, gang gang? How you do it?
Oh, she said, gang gang. Please don't.
I don't worry about school. I mean, I do, but I don't let it stress me. I just, I don't have time for that. But
She said, hop on her wave.
Yeah, I've been trying to tell everybody life is too short to be worried about everybody else.
Honestly.
So I think you should just, live life with God, of course. Get your money, and just do what you want with it responsibly.
Yeah. I think I want to close out saying value your mother, because you're not going to come across nobody else that's like her. No matter who you run to, you can run to your nana, your grandma, your granny, your auntie, your cousin, whoever. Ain't nobody going to be like your mama. She pushed you out her stomach. Just because you didn't ask to come into this life, in this world, don't mean that, you just don't respect, your mother, respect your mother, value your mother, and, always keep it 100.
That keeping it 100.
Yeah. I'm feeling it.
You got to. Always.
Jordan say catch this wave that she on, being stress free.
Exactly.
2019.
I'm with you on that, Jordan.
Yes.
I'm on your wave.
Kenzie say keep it 100, value and respect your mother. You only got one, and share what you think, or Chaz, what you think.
My thing is always transparency is key. Be open. Suppression can be the death of you, and this goes to the teens. This goes to the mothers and fathers as well. express yourself to those you can, because one thing that I went through was suppression for a long time, and that right there can really get you sick. But transparency is key to everything. Like Kenzie said, keep it 100. Ain't that how you say it?
Yep.
Yeah, keep it 100. And Jordan say, stay stress-free, because life is too short, and it is. And, anything that's for us, no man can take away, because God is in control of it all.
Always.
And I think I'm going to go ahead and catch what Jordan is saying, is just to go ahead and get on the wave that she is. I don't think I will ever be stress-free, because my personality, like, I'm a planner and I worry or whatever. So it's like I need to have things planned out. However, I do think that I could learn to, catch my daughter's wave and just learn how to enjoy life just a little bit more, and laugh a little bit more, and just become a bit more carefree. And I'm talking to the moms out there that are kind of like me on that be stressing all the time. So yeah,
Moms and kids, because kids in high school, they act different. So like,
how they act different?
something wrong with them. I don't know. They real different.
They different.
Well, y'all, it's been real talking to y'all.
Yes.
I think we'll be on here next month. I think it's the 4th Saturday. Y'all join us again, and we'll have these two beautiful girls on with us again, making y'all laugh, making y'all cry just like they do with us. One minute we laughing, the next we're crying.
Right.
But we thank y'all for joining us, and we hope that y'all continue to join us every 4th Saturday.
That's my mama. She talking to me and she know that I can't
Multitask.
I cannot multitask while she. I'll stop the whole conversation.
3rd Saturday, guys.
Is it 3rd Saturday?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. It's the 3rd Saturday. That's why she was getting our attention. We messing stuff up.
Yeah, so guys, tune in 3rd Saturday. We'll be back.
With a new topic.
Yes, with a new topic. And y'all let us know, too, what y'all would like to hear us talking about, because that's something that we want to do. We want to talk about something that's appealing to our audience. So y'all make sure that through all portals, whoever you're watching from, whether it's on the website itself, or whether it's following me or Jessica or McKenzie or Jordan, message us. Let us know what y'all would, some topics that y'all would like to hear from us.
Hey, thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you.
In the words of the kids, gang, gang, gang.
Gang, 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 gang. Okay, so how y'all do the gang, gang for real?
It's
Okay,
okay.
the mic. I think
Don't
I
do
put
it.
the
We
mic
don't
off.
need to-
Bye, y'all.
okay.
We don't use that no more.
It's
Leave
fine.
that one on. I think I did mic off.
Okay.
This was fun.
Yeah, I like this.
I thought we were gonna close out with some music.
We are.
Oh, we still on?
I have the mics on.
I can't find the music we're looking for. So
That's all.
There you go, right there. Jonathan McReynolds, Cycles Audio Only.
where you see it at?
22.
There you go.
Hey. So we're gonna close out with Jonathan Reynolds,
Mick Reynolds.
Mick Reynolds. Sorry, Jonathan McReynolds. The song "Cycles."
Is it playing? No.
I don't hear it.
What I do?
This is not on YouTube channel.
I turned the mic off. So
Me and Jordan gonna do we're gonna start a YouTube channel.
No, we're not.
Yes, she doesn't know it.
Oh, throw it back.
that's supposed to be on.
Yeah, that's supposed to be on. Oh, I don't know,
Get
y'all.
away
I
from
don't know how
me.
to get it back on.
Okay, but we're not.
That's the one we want, though.
Oh, there you go.
Is it play? You hear it?
Oh,
Okay.
No, but it's on the right side now.
Sorry, guys.
Hey V.
All right. Yeah. That's a wrap.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank y'all for joining in.
Thank y'all.
All right. And you can close out over here. Yeah.